An important thing to remember is talking to our kids about drinking before they're faced with the question.
Yeah, Casey Scott sat down with an expert to learn what we can all do to prepare our kids to say no to underage drinking.
'Tis the season for holiday parties, and it's also 'tis the season to talk to your kids about drinking. Why is the holidays a good time to talk to your kids about drinking?
So with holidays comes all kinds of family gatherings and festivities and a lot of fun, but also that's when alcohol sales go up, and quite often at those holiday gatherings there is more alcohol present. So it's important to talk to our kids before entering the door of that holiday party that we disapprove of underage drinking.
Now, in my house we have a saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We should have a plan in place for our kids when it comes to underage drinking. Why is that so important?
Absolutely. We should be talking to our kids early and often about underage drinking, because we know that kids and adults need to hear things more than one time before it really sinks in. So that continuous conversation with them is much better than a one-time, one-and-done conversation. Talking to them all the time about our expectations and the boundaries we set around underage drinking is really important.
Now let's talk about age appropriate. At what age should we be talking to our kids about underage drinking?
This was a little surprising for me to learn, but it's really the age of 9. So 9 years old is when we should start having those conversations with our kids about underage drinking.
And as parents, there's something we can do to help prevent underage drinking during holidays, and that's having a plan as well.
Absolutely. Having a plan, knowing every time your kid walks out the door that you know where they're going, who they're going to be with, what's happening, and will there be alcohol present. And then if there will be, having a conversation about what happens when you show up and there is alcohol. Can you call mom and dad to come and get you? And can you say no, because that boundary and expectation has already been set within that family wall.
Now, this is kind of a weird statistic, but I believe that most kids' first time tasting alcohol was with their parents. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. And the data that we've received, we have a student health survey that goes out every 2 years across the state of Utah called the SHARP survey. Our most recent data from this 2023 survey says that of adolescents who are drinking, half of them have a drink with their parents' permission, often in their own home, at least once a year.
Let's talk about the dangers of underage drinking. What can it do to you physically and mentally?
Yeah, so underage drinking can impair your developing brain. We know that the adolescent brain doesn't fully develop until about the mid-20s, and so making sure that we're setting our kids up for success so that they can make good choices. So underage drinking is going to affect their ability to have good judgment. It's going to affect their memory, their learning, their ability to do well academically, both now and in the future.
Now, is there a place where we might be able to go to get good starter questions or ways to talk to our kids about underage drinking?
Absolutely. There's a great website called parentsempowered.org that has all kinds of tips and videos and information that you can pull from so that you know where to start and so you can have these conversations with your kids.